Live from Montreal, it's Saturday night. Hey, everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge. All right, it's Saturday Hockey Talk, and I'm all alone. I hope somebody sees that opening. Hey, listen, if you're here, say hi. Tonight, we're going to talk about the upcoming draft. I'm currently working on my final mock draft. It's a full first round mock draft. I'm finalizing it. I'm hoping it'll be out tomorrow. So that we'll talk about that, whatever you want about the draft. And the Stanley Cup final, Game 7, is happening on Monday. If the Oilers win, I mean, it's history in the making. We're also seeing it's funny to say the emergence of Connor McDavid truly becoming that greatest player thing, whatever, one of the greatest players. So we can talk about that. And quite frankly, anything else you want to talk about, well, we can talk about that too. So let's see who's here. If you are here, please say hi in the comments section, comments in the chat, in the comment, whatever. And we can go from there. So far, we got Guru. Hey, Guru, how's it going, man? I don't know if you're still here because that comment's a half hour old, but Guru's always usually here. So, hey, buddy. If you're here, just say hi in the chat so I know who's here, and we'll talk about. Ask me any questions you want. Let's have a conversation about the draft and about the Stanley Cup final. The draft. Let's talk about that. Awesome, Guru. Sorry to keep you waiting. So, like I said, I'm working on a mock draft. Also, in the next Habnormals, which is next, we record Wednesdays. I guess it's going to come out Thursday morning, so not much time before the draft. But we are going to do a Habs 7-round mock draft. All three of us have our own picks. We're gonna run through that. And I hope I do well. I don't know. I've got about half of it done. Let's see. 6 out of 11? Yeah. 6 out of 11 picks. They have 11 picks, I believe. I got about halfway done. It's not easy when you get to the where I'm at. The next pick I have to do is at 134. Once you get there and beyond, it's not very easy to do. So anyways, we're going to be doing that on the next Habnormal, so please look for that. Should be interesting. And like I said, I'm doing I did an early mock draft, only the 1 to 16. This time I'm going to go all the way to 32. I hope. I've got the guys picked. So I'm just currently doing the writing up, and then I got to figure out how I'm going to put it across to you guys. So, yeah, we'll talk about that. And anything else that you want to talk about that's, preferably hockey-related since it's Saturday Hockey Talk. And let's see. Somebody else say, hey, Renegade Man. I think the Habs will draft 9 players and trade 2 picks that they have. I won't disagree with that. As far as do I know who and where, this is what I suspect. I kind of suspect when they get to their pick at 26, if the guys that they have, and they probably have a lot, but I mean, if the guys they really wanted at that pick, I'm sure there's a few that I think if those guys are gone, I could see them trading that pick and acquiring a couple of other picks. So I think they might make more than 9, but I think they might trade some of their picks to acquire other ones or to acquire players. I mean, that's a possibility as well. I was surprised they only got they've only got 2 picks in the second round. 1 in the second round. They had traded one to Winnipeg. Was that in the Monahan? I don't remember when they traded that to Winnipeg. It seemed convoluted, not cap friendly, the explanation. But so I could see them wanting to get another second round pick. But I mean, who knows what's going to happen, right? It's hard to say. They might even make a deal before the trade. Get my words right. Before the draft, where they do move a pick or two, to acquire somebody. So hard to tell. Just like the draft, it's very hard to tell who's going to go where once Macklin Celebrini's gone. So that's after pick 1. I don't know. I mean, in the last couple of days, I've changed who I thought pick 2 was going to be already. So I start out, okay, this guy, and then I don't know, maybe. So like it's really a fluid situation. There's still 6 days to go, and things could change even from now till then. So, I mean, who do you guys think? How would I ask this? Who do you guys think? How do you guys think the top 5 is going to go? If you guys want to try to answer that, I can't really give you who I think because I watched the video, but I'm curious as to how you guys think top 5 will go. I may give away 1 or 2 picks that I'm gonna, but I don't know. I think it's pretty certain almost. Montreal's going to do something in the form of a trade, or at least they're going to try, because sometimes you just can't work the trade. But apparently, from the people who are in the know much more than I am, something big trade-wise is going to happen in the next 6 days. What that'll be, I really don't know. I really don't know. AJ Fed, how's it going, man? Hughes should inquire about Rutger McGroarty. Apparently, he may not want to be in Winnipeg. That's what's come out today. Apparently, he doesn't want to be in Winnipeg. And a lot of people think Montreal should go after him. And I know he's probably a really good player and all that stuff, but I'm soured by the fact that the guy doesn't want to go where he was drafted. I don't like that. It's something that's like more modern than it was in my day. That didn't happen. Even guys who complained. I mean, one of the reasons I don't really like Lindros all that much was, him forcing that trade. I wasn't happy with Mario Lemieux at first because of what he did. And all he did was stand up when his name was called. He didn't want to go to Pittsburgh, and he didn't go to the stage and put on the sweater. And he got a lot of shit for that, right? So, like, this kind of thing, I don't like. I don't like it. I don't want Montreal going after him. It could be stupid of me. I don't know, but, that's how I feel. Hey, Scorchy, how's it going? Move Anders. I think they're kind of I think they're, if they can, they will. But I know a lot of people I've talked to, I say a lot of people, few people in the media, and they kind of feel, and I kind of do too, that Anderson could have a good comeback year. I'm not saying he's going to go crazy scoring, but he could have a comeback season. The thing is, like, you might want to not move him until and then again, you might not be able to move him after that. But I kind of think if there's a deal there that Anderson makes sense, that they'll do it for sure. Yeah. Jethro McSheepherder, still my absolute favorite name amongst all the subs. Okay, he's giving me his picks. All right. Number 1, Celebrini, Demidov, Buyam, Lindstrom, Aginla. Can I show him? I can't. I don't want to give it away. I've had a draft of these things where I had that. I'm going to say that. Whether some of that remains or all of it, I'm not going to tell you. But I was going, writing out the names, and it gets really hard. And you go, like, when you get a little farther down, you go, oh, I left that guy out. And, like, you got to redo it. So I've had one where I wrote out those 5 names as the top 5. So awesome. But you know what? I think a lot of people go that way. I don't think as many people have Aginla there at 5. This one I'll give away because I've done a video on it. At this point, I was sort of leaning towards Seneca And I'm back on Iginla, and I think Montreal picks Iginla. I'm still on that. I agree with you there, but not a lot of people are on that as yes, that's the pick. But if they do pick Iginla, I'm good with it. Like there's a lot of more of those. So awesome! I'm happy to see that. ABL, BL Scott, Celebrini, Levshunov, Demidov, Lindstrom, and Iginla. Now, that's a combination I have not seen yet. And quite frankly, that could be how it does come out. Like, seriously can. I'll say we agree on, there's 4 of my top 5, but you don't have them in the same order I do. I'm just going to say that. I'm soon enough, if I keep saying that, you're going to figure out what my top 5 is. Guru says, I saw Lego Rocks posted a video earlier today. I've been working all day, so I don't know any of that stuff at this point. Saying the Habs tried a second time to acquire PLD. I'm not sure when. I didn't have time to watch, but will his video? But okay, I'm not even gonna. I had this argument. It's funny. An hour ago, or maybe 2, with Cam on our group chat. So I think this is where it comes from. Elliot Friedman on his 32 Thoughts podcast was talking about I have it. I think I have this loaded up. No, I'm going to load it up. Just give me a second because I'm slow today. Okay, so this is from Elliot Friedman's 32 Thoughts. Now, I don't know if I can read this because it's small. On PLD, Elliot says, a pretty good source told him there were other teams who were legitimately interested in acquiring him. That's PLD. Elliot and Jeff guess, and to me, that's a very important word here, guess it's Boston and Montreal. Why is guess a very important word for me? And this was the argument I had with Cam. First of all, Elliot Friedman, since he's been a Sportsnet kiss ass and a Maple Leaf dick sucker, yes, I said it. I don't find him as reliable. So he's not really. Yes, I use him in some things. I have, and I probably still will. But I don't know that he's that reliable like he used to be. Like I felt he was. So for me, yes, apparently Montreal was interested in PLD. I did a video about it. I did a song about it. If you were here before the show, it's the trailer. Before he went to LA, right? Kent Hughes does not strike me as a moron. Number one, why in the freaking hell, after the season PLD had and his history now, would he even want to touch that when the guy's got a no movement clause for the next 4 seasons that kicks in like 9 days? Why? So they said guess because they didn't know and assumed from before that Montreal is probably still interested. And, well, everybody knows Boston needs a center. I think that's it. It's a guess, and it's written right there, and people just overlook that and go, Montreal's interested. I don't believe that, not even for a second. So it's really interesting that this comment comes in after I just had this argument with Cam, and I told Cam, I said, I want to do a sin bin on this right now. So very interesting. So this is what Lego Rocks. So I think that's where Lego Rocks gets it. And, Lego Rocks, who, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but in my very early days, he was a supporter and a friend of the channel. We spoke a couple of times. But, man, I find he does such clickbait stuff. And that's what that is, because nobody knows. You don't know that Kent Hughes was interested. And if you think about Kent Hughes and the smart trades and stuff he's done, why would he be doing that? Why would he be even interested in that? That's what I got to say. I see Joe's comment on the bottom. Not pink suits don't bother me that much. I don't think for the suit, but shirt, but the pink doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the guy's got to be making a lot of money. Why is he wearing such ill-fitting suits? It's obvious he's got a belly. So wear a suit that fits you better. Anyway, I used to really like Elliott when he was on Mitch Melnick back in the day. We're talking 20 years ago. I just find since he's been on Sportsnet like that in the last few years, I don't find him as reliable. That's all. Because if a guy's going to sell his soul a little bit and to push the Sportsnet bullshit, it takes away from his credibility. How's that? BL says, I see Salayev and Yzerman dropping. I'm not sure about Salayev. I have to be honest, I have him pretty high. But Yzerman, I think 100%. 100%, I think Yzerman drops out of on all my lists I've made out of the top 10. Now you see him listed. What have I got here? What have I got I can load up here? This is Craig Button's top 16. And if I'm correct, Yzerman is listed at 5. Okay? Now, it's not that Montreal's going to take him. That's not what Button is doing there. This is a ranking. Craig Button, I really like Craig Button, but I also take his opinions sometimes and stuff like this with a grain of salt. And that's one of those, because Yzerman's not going 5. If you look at that, I mean, Lindstrom, what has he got? Lindstrom at 9. Who else am I? Seneca at 11. The only thing I like is Tijagin at 3. I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying he's going to go 3. I'm not really worried that if Montreal's taking him that he'll be gone before. But I think he's that high of a talent, which is why I'm back on, yeah, it's going to be Tijagin. I'm usually wrong, unfortunately, but this one I really want to be right on. I mean, with Slav and Shane Wright, I was glad I was wrong, not right. And then last year, I wanted, can't even remember his name now. And they picked Reinbacher, but I like the Reinbacher pick. It didn't take me that long. BL, shut up now. It didn't take me that long, 5 minutes or so, and we were both, me and Matt, okay with it, even though it wasn't our guy. So, but BL, stop. I know you want to type something in. Let's see. All the Habs picks. And then with Salayev, I don't know. I don't know enough about the guy. And I've got him hot. I might change that. And it's not because of what you're saying. It's because if I'm going to change it, I have to do it like soon, because I could get beyond where I've done so many things. I'm not going to change it. And then again, he could go that high. There's still plenty of people high on him. I don't know. All the Habs picks, says Joe, will be defensemen and in turn piss off the fans and media. That's just trying to be funny, but it's not true. Lego was quoting Idiot Friedman. I'm not saying Elliot Friedman's an idiot, because he's not. I mean, I liked and respected the guy. He hasn't done anything to say that he is incompetent. He's just a bit of a sellout, in my opinion, and that's all. That's what I gotta say. Atos Koivu at 5. Does somebody have that really? Yeah, I think more likely Seneca or Iginla. I'm leaning on Iginla for that. Now, if Damidov is there or Lindstrom, it could be one of those two guys too. I don't think it's going to be a defenseman, because there's no need. Because I got to believe, and the consensus of people who know better than I do believe also that it's going to be their list is probably Demidov, Lindstrom, and either Seneca or Ginla. People have that different. So if those guys are there, but the point is, if after Celebrini, say goes Demidov, Lindstrom, Ginla, well, then Seneca. If it goes Seneca, then Iginla. If they go higher, the point is, one of those guys is going to be there, even if they're all picked right in a row. And, I got to believe that that's where they're looking. Unless there's somebody out there that hasn't been discovered by anybody. And I don't see that. So, and I don't think they're going to reach. And they're not taking a defenseman. I feel confident in that. Unless, here's the only unless. And this is hard. I mean, it's impossible to predict. If Montreal makes a big trade before the draft and they acquire, not PLD, somebody, that's big, that's elite, then they might take a defenseman if that's the best player available at 5 at that point. And then again, they acquire that guy, they pick up another good prospect. But if they're going to take a defenseman, that's the only way I see it. Or all these 4 guys suddenly just died and they're not going to be, it's not going to happen. Geez, knock wood, that doesn't happen. I jinxed that. It's not going to happen. All right. In a week, I may change it. Okay, wait. Which were you talking about? But I really want Iginla if the other 4 I picked are gone, like I'm predicting. I'm going to tell you the truth. If it's Lindstrom over Iginla, I'm going to be disappointed. If it's Seneca over Iginla, I'm probably not, but I'm going to realize that he's more of a risk because he's got the lower floor and it's kind of a boom or bust situation, more so than Iginla. And if it's Demidov, I don't know that I can argue that at this point. Like, the kid looks like he's going to be really amazing. He is 6 feet now, 192 pounds. That's a significant body. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, if I want Iginla, who's 6 feet 185, Demidov at 6 feet 192 with the talent he's got, I can't really complain about that. And apparently he has said he's got 1 year left in Russia and he's coming to North America. It's not a question of contract. That's what he said. But who do I want them to pick? It wasn't just a gut feeling. It started out that way with Iginla. I really want them to pick Tidge Iginla. Like, that's the guy I want. All right. Friedman should spew crap about the Leafs. Well, he does plenty of that. I wasn't kind of joking when I say all of them on that panel are Maple Leaf dick suckers. I mean, I have no, what's the word I'm looking for? No regret in saying that. That's not the right word I was looking for. But Friedman does look like a moron in pink suits. I kind of agree. But I'm telling you, if the suit fit him better, he'd look less of a moron. He's not a moron. Elliot Friedman knows his shit. I just find, since he went to Sportsnet, he's dropped his standards. That's all. Jethro kind of agrees with me, but most of these okay, I'm going to do that again. I won't stutter. But most of those rumors are teams calling Montreal to offer players or ask for a player, not the other way around. I think that could be that it was misconstrued that way, that L.A. Bergevin called his successor and see if they can work a deal. That's possible. But that's not Ken Hughes wanting PLD, right? So, yeah. But you know what? If that's the case, Friedman should have known that and known better and not said that. And they covered themselves by saying it's a guess. And it probably is just that, a guess. Got to read all the words that are written. That's what I say. It's probably the other way around. Maybe Dubois still wanted to play for the Habs and reached out to Hughes. I mean, that could be too, right? That could be. Personally, I don't know if he had any hand in trying to find where they were going to move him. He had no clauses like for trade until 9 days, right? So they got rid of him before they couldn't get rid of him. So like you look at what's his name? That's the GM there. I can't remember. Why can't I remember his name now? I mean, I know who it is. Anyways, he did a good job of getting rid of that contract, right? I think Kemper's not that bad, and LA needs a goalie. So, at some point, sometimes, they signed him for a lot of money. They traded away a lot to get him, Dubois. But it didn't work. They obviously didn't like him and didn't want to continue at no movement clause for 4 years. Sometimes you got to cut your losses. Just cut them and go the other way, and it doesn't. They're gone, and that's what they did. And Washington, I'm happy for Washington because I don't like Washington right now because of cap friendly thing. Good for them. Good for them. I hope he sucks his way through 4 years in Washington. Price forgot his name too. Who would? Why? I don't get that. I don't get why you say that. Hey, David. Good to see you out there, buddy. Jethro, I think a lot of people agree with that. It's not just me saying that. I've heard other people say that, but I think it's kind of obvious for the whole panel. It's obvious what it is. David says, I'm concerned with Lindstrom's back. It's something to worry about, but I don't think it's going to affect him getting drafted. I really don't in the long run. Maybe Calgary will take Anderson for cap reasons. Oh, that's something that is a tool. There's apparently, Treg was telling us on the podcast last week, 7 teams that are under the floor for the cap and need guys to up the cap. So there might be ways, but I kind of agree with something Treg had said also is that he thinks Anderson will have a bounce back season. I think it can't be as bad as last season. I think Montreal gives him the opportunity to bounce back. That's what I think. Okay, move down. Stand the man. Now that PLD was traded to Washington, which I do not understand. Does anybody understand why they would want to do that? I understand why LA wanted to do it, but Washington? I think it's this, though. We can now talk about who the Habs picking it up. Yes. But I think this is the reason why, as long as Ovi is there chasing the record, they can't rebuild. So they're plugging holes that they figure they have. I don't know how they saw that as a good one, though. But that's what they were doing, I assume. Their pro scouting sucks. Their GM makes horrible decisions. Those are the reasons I got. Chicago and Anaheim will likely take a defenseman. I'm curious what Columbus will take. They need everybody. They might take a Ginla at 4. I hope the Habs pick him. I see. This is where I would say. I'm not. I think one of Chicago and Anaheim definitely will take a defenseman. I don't know that both will. Even though that's what's out there right now, I don't know because it's a constantly changing situation. And since that, I've heard differently. And from a good source. It's not like I read this and, from some idiot on Twitter. The good thing about what's going on here at Talking Habs lately is with the young guys I'm working with, they're really active out on social media and they've made some really good connections with media people. We've got a couple of them. Old Treg's been on, and Jamie Baskow for the Flyers, who's pretty much now a regular on the Flyers podcast, and a really solidly good guy. and a big friend of the channel. So we're getting better information, I guess, than I used to get. So, you know, so where was I going with that? Okay, yeah. So I'm not sold on the two defensemen in the top 5. It may go that way, and it may not. I'm pretty sure Tidge will be there at 5. Columbus, apparently, new GM Don Waddell has said they're looking for offense and size. And to me, that screams Lindstrom or Seneca, right? So I don't think it's Iginla. And I think also if Demidov is there and it's Lindstrom goes ahead of him or not, but somebody else, then I think they could take Demidov just as easily. But do I think they're going to go for Iginla? I don't. Could they take Iginla? Of course they could. But it seems like they want size. To me, that screams Lindstrom if he's there. So. Oh, I think Iginla is the right pick, Stan. Joe qualms about what? Chris, hey Chris. I'm sure you've been. I don't know if you've been in or not before. Welcome to the channel. If not, you have, I apologize for not remembering. Zane Parake, right handy. I would love. You would love him. They want. I mean, you could ask him out on a date. No, I'm just joking. They want dynamic players. RHDs are a premium asset. Yes. But I still don't think Montreal's going defense. Are you right about Parake? I think so. I think Parake, what do I got him? I'm going to tell you. I have Parake going in the top 10. So definitely, I just don't think Montreal goes D. There's no reason for them to. And Kent Hughes has already said they're going forward. And like as a backup, in case who they want isn't there, which I can't see that being the case, then they're going to consider maybe a defenseman. So put like that, I don't think Habs are going into this thinking D. There's a lot of really good D in there. Dickinson, Buyam, Yakimchuk, you got Salayev, Levshunov. There's some really good defensemen in this draft early. They're not going D because there's some really good forwards in this draft. Like there's like 4 guys where their floors are top 6. You know, so even if they don't hit their ceiling, they're top 6, and it's a consensus on that. So, does that mean they couldn't bust? Of course, they could still. You never know till they get here to the NHL, but I don't see them going with Parake, who is really going to be a good defenseman. From what I mean, this guy's a point getter, that's for sure. PLD is Bergevin's doing. I think Rob Blake, that's the guy. Rob Blake was pressured to get him and now had to trade him. Yeah, I don't know what the workings are over there. I know Bergevin is the assistant GM. He probably had a hand in the decision. But we don't know all that. Just good on Rob Blake for like seeing the problem early enough to fix it. Or at least, like I said, cut the losses and go in another direction. Because sometimes in life, man, everybody hates to lose, but sometimes you got to accept it and go and do something different. Take it from a 61-year-old man. How's that? Who is going to get high a little bit. I'm going to lift my chair up in a second. Joe has qualms about Reinbacher. I get that. Not everybody's pleased with him. I, first of all, trust in the Montreal scouting staff, the way they make their decisions on players. I trust in it right now. Till there's a reason not to, I trust in them. in doing this, I researched Reinbacher. I think I did a video. And I learned that in Switzerland, they have kind of like, cap friendly, the way they track everything. So they track all draft eligible kids as they come up for a certain number of years and track everything, not just in Europe, but in North America too. In their program, other than Connor Bedard, who was number one, of all other players that they tracked in Reinbacher's time, Reinbacher, they figured they came up with, was second as far as potential to be an NHL superstar. I don't know I think superstar. That tells you something. He's going to be a good pick. Is he going to be here next season? At some point, I expect him to start in the AHL. And maybe, as Treg had said, I expected him to start in the AHL before talking with Treg on the pod. He kind of thinks he'll spend the whole year there, maybe get a couple of games in Montreal, but get him a year in professional hockey in North America before he hits the team, unless he is lights out in training camp. Or when they do take a look at him, maybe an injury, they call him up, and he's lights out, But other than that, I think he'll be in. I have no qualms about him personally. It was a good pick. The experts say that if he was drafted this year, he would probably be, I've heard, anywhere from second to fourth best D in the draft. In a good defenseman draft. That says something. But again, like every young kid, till they get here and they do it here, you don't know. Do I think LA will go after Mitch Marner now? That's I have not thought of that. Apparently, Toronto and Trey Living, he's thinking of, they're negotiating or trying to maybe sign him to an extension. So good on them. Maybe he doesn't go on the block. You also hear Marner won't waive his no movement. If he doesn't waive, they can't trade him. So I don't know. But I mean, I hadn't really thought of that at all. So you think Utah will take a guy like Marner? Let's see who I got for Utah. On all of my list that I've started and stopped, I've got them taking a defenseman. Remember, that's the Arizona Coyotes. They kind of need everything, but their offense wasn't that bad, if I'm correct. And their defense wasn't that good. I think they take a defenseman at number 6 because they're going to get a good one. Could I be wrong? Of course. Joe, I think, you know what? I agree with you. It was a brilliant trade for LA to make the decision quickly and get rid of the problem quickly before it screwed up the team. And that's what would have happened with Dubois. He'll become a cancer, not happy or whatever. And he's a cancer in the locker room, screws the morale, divides the team. It's not good. That's his history already. So, JFed, I kind of agree with you. I don't see Marner waiving it either. Forcing them to negotiate with him, which is kind of what might be happening. Jeez, I can't keep this thing lit. A conservative lawyer. Utah should have been given an NHL team ages ago. Sometime after the Habs coming in would make sense. I think if they weren't so stuck on Arizona, you're probably right. Let's see how it goes in Utah. I don't know enough about hockey in Utah to know how it's going to go, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Obviously, probably the first season or two. It's a honeymoon. We'll see after that. Hey, Lucas. How's it going? If the weekend wasn't so shitty, sometime during the week, I'm gonna go shopping again, and we'll get together with that shirt. I really apologize. I keep thinking of it every time you show up, and I'm embarrassed to say something about it most times. Joe says, by the time you read what I typed, I forgot why I typed that. Yeah, I know that feeling. Definitely know that feeling. If the Habs pick Seneca, I won't have a problem, but I feel for the kid if that happens. Oh, I want to just change something here. Been meaning to put this up. There we go. I'm going to get back to you in a second now. See the banner. If you read that. If the Habs pick Seneca, I won't have a problem. Me neither. I like Seneca. The thing with Seneca is a bit more of a risk than a Ginla. But I feel for the kid if that happens. The fans will go apeshit like they did with Reinbacher when he was drafted. You know what? It doesn't matter if it's not. I agree with you. If it's not Demidov or Lindstrom, who may be gone, right? They're going to have no choice but to pick somebody else. But still, the fans are going to complain. You can see fans setting themselves up for it on Twitter anyway. You know, it's got to be Lindstrom. It's got to be Demidov. Well, it might not be. I don't know why I get so stuck. Like, if it's not a Ginla, and I really want a Ginla, like, I really want them to draft a Ginla, but I'm going to be okay with whoever they draft. In my Lindstrom video, I said, doesn't matter who, even if it's a defenseman, I'm going to trust their reasoning for it. Because they haven't let me down yet. They really haven't. So why am I going to bitch and complain about the management when we got a good management group here? After like a while when we got a good one here. So I hope the fans, I'm going to laugh at myself. I hope the fans learned a lesson from Reinbacher, but I mean, he hasn't hit the league yet. So they're not obviously going to learn a lesson from that yet. Because if they don't pick Demidov or Lindstrom, he's going to get it again, Reinbacher, because it's going to bring up that again as well. Kid seems like a really good kid. I don't think it's going to affect him. Lawyer, I don't know enough about Utah and hockey, like I said. But listen, I hope it does. I got nothing against Utah. I hope they're successful there. Nothing better than having successful NHL teams than not. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy if it does. I would think after moving Arizona, they're not putting the team in a place where they don't feel strongly that it will succeed. So, Renegade Man, I agree with you on that. And you know, I have this name for them now. It's not something I made up, but if you're local here in Montreal, you may know who Brian Wild is. He's a Habs reporter for like a long time and a really smart dude, okay? I like Brian Wild. I don't always agree with him. Most of the time, though, I do. So he calls these guys Billy Basement. Now, I was a Billy Basement when I started this channel. Over the 6 years, I'm going into my 7th. Yeah, I've learned and I've grown, and I'm a little better than that now. I'm not an insider or anything like that. I would not claim to be that, but I'm better than I was when I started. So I call them Billy Basement. And yeah, the fact is, the teams they're prepared. They may be wrong, yeah, but they're prepared with who they want to pick. With lists, and like Brian says, they probably have 20 or 30 names like at each pick, right? At each of their picks, they probably have 20 or 30 names just in case, right? That they have to contemplate again and again and again, and then they make their pick. So, yeah, they know way more than we do. Which is why I like the management group. I like the moves they've made. I like the picks that they've made so far. I got nothing to complain about. I'm going to trust them. until, like I said, such time as they're consistently not good. But right now, they've been freaking good. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with the management group. And you know what? Haters are gonna hate. Doesn't matter. They're gonna hate anyway. So fuck them. I don't care. Sometimes I say things I shouldn't say, but you know what? As long as that's how I believe and I feel it's true, nothing wrong about it. No, I shouldn't say feel it's true. That the facts back up. In my opinion, the facts back up the truth, because facts are what's true, not feelings. And then I'll say so. I don't care. Yeah, I know. I remember. It'll go back to that. All the people that did that and then got over it and said, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to be like that again." As soon as draft time came around, boom, 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 back to the same shit. They don't learn. I thankfully have learned to be better, to be more. I don't even know the word to put it. I'm more experienced at doing this, so I've learned a little more, learned what to look for. I rely on, obviously, reading other people's opinions, then thinking about it, and I can form my own opinion on something that maybe I haven't seen or I don't have as much knowledge about, you know? So yeah, my opinions can be fluid sometimes because I didn't have all the information, whatever, or I didn't think about it in a certain way, so I can change my opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. What do I think of the Connor Hughes signing? Okay, I don't even know the name. Why don't I know the name? Tell me who he is. I don't know. I'm gonna say without really knowing, that the goalie they signed for the AHL. All right, so I think they need the help there in the AHL. They felt that he was better than, or the other guy retired or something. Anyways, they felt he was better, and they saw no. There's no problem. He's a little older. I have no problem with it. Montreal's in a good place with goalies as far as the prospects down in the pipeline. They're in a good spot with goalies right now. Gone from being really not in a good spot because Carey Price, we didn't need anybody else. They're in a good spot for the future with goalie talent. So, yeah, I think, for a couple of years, a year, like, I think it's okay. They signed in, 2 years? 2-way, I think. Or is it 1 year, 2? I'm not sure. If there's an emergency and everybody's injured, he could be called up. I think his history is good, but I don't know anything about him really other than that. That's all. But I mean, Montreal's goaltending is good, all the way down. They've got some good prospects. They're developing. Dobish is looking good in the AHL. He will come up if Primo is hurt, so Dobish can stay where he is. You know what? Probably true, because they want Dobish to develop. And I don't know a lot about Dobish, but talking to Treg last week on the pod, he's high on that guy. Dobish is got potential. So they're in a good spot, So they want Dobish to develop and be potentially replace Primo after next year, from what Treg says. I don't know enough to have that be my opinion. I don't, but so yeah, I guess I answered. He could be ready in a year or two, according to Treg, who, like I said, knows a lot more than I do. He is much more of an insider than I am by far. And I mean, he's hockey media. It was 1 year, but it's a 2-way contract. Hey there, Phil. Wonder Phil is here. Kwame says hi. Hey, Kwame. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Jimmy says it itches. Yeah, you scratch it, Jimmy, and don't stick it back in that same place. How good is Fowler? I heard he has potential to be elite. Oh, I think without a doubt. I'm really high on Fowler. Definitely. Kid's the real deal. It's to the point where we may be seeing Fowler in the AHL, not this coming season, but the one after. There's potential for this guy after 2 years in college to say, yeah, I'm ready to make the jump, and be ready to make the jump, because he made the jump from the USHL, I think it was, and seamlessly into college. So seamlessly means as good as he was in the USHL, he was maybe even better in college. That's the kind of goalie he is. Big game kind of goalie. And wants the pressure. Cherishes the pressure. Made for Montreal. And has a Montreal tie with family and everything. So it's a good match. But Fowler could be, really good. I think Fowler, if Montreal is going to win the Cup in the next, say, 5 years, a little longer, Fowler is going to be the goalie. He's going to be the starter then. In possibly 3 seasons, maybe 4. But I'd say 3 years. So this, not next year, not the one after, but the one after that, I think Fowler's in Montreal. And that's an upgrade from what I thought originally, because he's done that well at college. Yeah. I wish I went to college to learn how to keep things lit. But no, this guy did not go to college. I went to the College of Hard Knocks. How's that? Knock my tooth right out. That's how hard the knocks are. Nobody want to talk about Game 7 on Monday? Game 6, Game 5? Nobody want to talk about that? Game 4? The incredible turnaround of the Edmonton Oilers? I'm not an Edmonton fan necessarily, but man, you can't look at that and go, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's been pretty spectacular. Let's see. There's been rumors and talks about Line A. Yeah, I don't buy into that line. Why would they take Line A 2 years at $8.7 million, even though they probably have the money and can make it work? Really, I don't know. It's rumors, and that's what it is. Rumors don't mean anything. I'm not using the right words. They sound stupid. Rumors don't mean a thing, really. They're just rumors until they happen. Oh, all due respect to Monty there, lawyer. There's no doubt. Fowler is a better goalie than Monty. Now, doesn't mean Monty won't be here, though. Monty could end up backing up Fowler. Monty's a good goalie. I really like Monty. I like him a lot. Is he an elite goalie? I don't think so yet. And I don't know if he'll ever get there. But I think he has potential for it. Can he reach it? I don't know. But I think he's the right kind of goalie for Montreal. I like Monty a lot. The thing is, now, Montreal's got some really good goalie prospects. There's Russian kid they picked up last year. Apparently he's lights out. Who else went? Well, Fowler. I mean, there's some really good goalies in the system potentially right now, when we really had nothing. 2 years ago, when Kent Hughes got here, our goalie situation was not good. Game 7 will be fun. I think so. We're going to be doing a big watch party, so hopefully you guys will join us. And I think it'll be everybody. And I say that, and it could very likely just be me. But no, it should be everybody. Harry, I can't remember anybody else's name. Matt, Alex, and Cam joining me, I guess. We're going to watch that game and have some fun with it. Because Monday also would have been we would be recording our podcast, the Pucking Around podcast. So, yeah, we're going to do that instead. And I do believe everybody but Harry, because Harry doesn't like the Oilers and he likes the Panthers a lot, is rooting for Edmonton. Like I was going for Florida because of my bracket and all that kind of stuff. Because I don't really like Florida other than that. But I got to say, I'm on the Edmonton bandwagon. I want to see history be made. I don't want to see it because they're Canadian and it brings the cup back. I want Montreal to do that, but I want to see the history. This is history being made. That's what I want to see. Joe, I feel Oilers will win too. I think the Oilers are in the Panthers' heads now. Something's wrong over there in Florida. I don't know what it is, but at this point, after losing those 3 games, they can't be coming out overconfident, that's for sure, or confident at all. At this point, McDavid absolutely deserves to win the cup for his performance in the finals alone. Plus, he has a chance to set a record as far as points. If he can get 47 points, he ties Gretzky for the most ever in playoffs. If he gets 48, he beats him. So he's got that, and he's at last game, I don't know what he got, but he was at 42 going into it. So he's got one more game. Does he get 6 points? Has he knocked 1 or 2 of those off? I think so. He's going to need like 4 or 5 points. I don't think he's going to do that, but he could end up tying Mario Lemieux for second. So it's something. Florida had a chance to win game 4, 5, and 6. They sure did. Going into the game, they had a chance. Not once the game started. Maybe game 5, they came back a bit in the third. But they didn't have a chance otherwise. Well, Renegade Man, if they win and seals it, they found a way to score on Bobby. I don't know what's up with that. Bob was just unstoppable, unbeatable, and now he can't stop anything. He's still okay, but giving up too many rebounds, not looking as confident overall. So, I don't know. If Florida loses, it'll be more than being like the Canucks at 0-3 record. They will have had the second worst, or the second time, the worst thing that could happen in the playoffs in the finals for a team. Because this reverse sweep's only happened once in the finals. It's happened 4 times overall in the playoffs, which is something, only 4 times. And only once in the finals. Should all of Canada support the Oilers? Only if they want. No, you don't have to support the Oilers. I'm not telling anybody you have to. I'm just saying I got on the bandwagon at this point. That's all. Absolutely. Like I said, also, the Oilers are not my team in any way. But at this point, I want to see history being made. So, yeah. That's all. And Florida's not my team either, so only because of the bracket is why I was going for Florida. Kwame says, like the Sonic Coconuts stream down to earth, the Sonic Coconuts stream down to earth, the Panthers will finally feast on their oily prey. Somebody's a philosopher? Really? Sounds nice. I gotta say, going into it, I don't agree. Could it happen? Of course. I mean, you know what? I said this was it last night or to some. I don't know who I said this to. It's game 7. Both teams at 3. The fourth game's the hardest one to lock down. They both have that. I just think it's harder for Florida because of they lost the last 3 after being in a commanding lead. If that doesn't get to you, I don't know. There may be a player or two it doesn't get to, but as a team, it's showing. Game 7 is on Bob Cole, the late Bob Cole's birthday. That's, a fun fact. We want Florida. That's for you. You're allowed. I've changed. I'm going for Edmonton. I'd much rather see, and I'm surprised because Phil, you like history and stuff. This is history being made, dude. So I'm surprised. If Paul Maurice gets fired, he will do stand-up comedy as a living. I hadn't thought about this, good one, but I hadn't thought about Paul Maurice getting fired. It's true. He could after losing twice in the finals 2 years in a row. That could do it. If they see it as he lost the room, it's his fault. But they might not see it like that. I don't know why the players have, changed from game 3 to game 4. I don't know what happened, but something did. And it could be him. Jeez, this is the most people in the room for Saturday Hockey Talk in a while, even though I haven't done a lot of Saturday Hockey Talks in a while. There's more people in the room than I got in the games. So, awesome. So, listen, we're talking about, I'll be here for another 28 minutes or so. We're talking about the draft, and we're talking about Stanley Cup Final Game 7, or anything else anybody out there wants to talk about. Just talk to me here in the chat. Ask a question. Start a topic. Anything you want to do. Floor is your guys' floor. I didn't say that well. The floor is yours. Let's see if I get a response. Usually when I ask that or say that, nobody talks to me for a while. That stick save Tkachuk made was spectacular, only to get scored on by McDavid. Yeah, and the reason he got scored on, more than likely that McDavid had that opportunity, is Oliver Ekman-Larsson just gave up. Saw that it's like, oh, well, it's not icing, so why'd you just give up on the play when there's still 17 seconds? Maybe you grab the puck, head down, and score. No, he gave up, basically gave McDavid the puck. I don't think Florida would have scored, but you're not supposed to give up then. So, but that was an amazing save, though. Yeah, 100%. I only found out it was Tkachuk. I didn't realize it till I saw the replay either the next day or the day after. Danny, I just actually gave those thoughts on Line A. Is he a fit with the Habs? I personally don't think so. Could he come back and have a great season and all that? Sure, it's possible. I don't know. I don't know that I want to take the chance. Depends. Like if Winnipeg, no, it's not Winnipeg. If Columbus retains 50%, because that 8.7 million bugs me, right? If you're getting them at 4.35, and you didn't have to give up a lot as far as going back the other way, I'd understand if they did it, but I don't see I don't see why they would, personally. Could he be a fit? I guess he could. I mean, he's a former 40-goal scorer. Thing is, he hasn't played. What has he played? 56 games average in the last 3 seasons. So, hey Charles, I just noticed. Hey Charles, good to see you from all the way from Nassau, Bahamas. Good to see you, Charles. Chris, interesting that you asked this question, I think. Alexander Holtz is a player who seemed to be in the coach's doghouse in New Jersey. A former top 10 pick who is a projected sniper, also known as Cole Caulfield, Cole Iserman. Do you believe the Habs will have interest, and what would it take? Okay, so the reason that's interesting is this. This is a comment I got the other day from, and I don't know this guy, Dops. I don't know, unless it's somebody using a different, I don't know. Source close to the situation has told me that a trade is in the works with New Jersey and close to done. Matheson and Armia and the 26th pick for Holtz and the 10th overall pick. You heard it here first. Now, I have that, the caption I use for that is stupid comment. Why do I feel that's a stupid comment? Why would New Jersey trade down from 10 to 26? Giving up Holtz for Matheson, because Armia is a throw-in. Even if he's having a good year, it's not doing much. How does that make any sense? And trading into the top 10 is expensive. So I don't get it. That's not, to me, that's a stupid comment. So it's just interesting that I don't know where else I was going with that, but so what was your question now? Let me see. Let me go back to it. Do you believe the Habs would have interest, and what would it take? Would they want that 10th pick? Oh, of course, they'd have interest in that. What would it take would be more than that offer. Matheson, nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with him, but that 26th and the 10th, they don't. It's not balanced. Montreal would have to give up more. I don't know what more exactly, but I think more than what was said there. Would they have interest to get it? I mean, yeah. What team wouldn't have interest to get to the top 10, right? But you don't see that happen often where a team trades into, and obviously one trades out of, the top 10 in a really good draft year. In a shitty draft year, you'll see it. In a really good draft year, where that 10th pick is going to be a really good one, yeah, I don't see it. Trade Laine for Anderson. That is the talk, actually. Anderson goes that way. Laine comes here. They hold 50% of the salary. So, or it's 8.7. So they hold like $3 million, say, retained. So it's an even up money-wise. That's what I've heard, basically, for Laine. Would Columbus have interest, though, in getting Anderson back after a shitty year? Like, I don't think so. But then again, if they really want to get rid of that contract of Laine, then they might. Do I think that's what happens? I don't know. It could. I don't think it will, but it could. Should the Habs trade for Capo Caco at the draft? Not a big. He doesn't move the needle enough. From what I'm understanding and hearing, if they're doing a move at the draft, it's going to be a big one. I don't think Caco is a big trade like that. Doesn't move the needle. Sure, maybe he, comes into his own finally, but he might not either. I don't think, no. You're welcome, Charles. Thanks for your patronage, I think I'm going to say. I appreciate that. Danny says beefs up their blue line if they want to compete now. Who's blue line? Wait. Who are we talking about now? Oh, okay. New Jersey. Beefs up New Jersey blue line. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think Matheson's going to be traded. Why? Here's a 60-point defenseman signed for 2 more years. He's a local kid, and he's making 4.8. Where are you getting a 60-point defenseman making 4.8 million? No, I think the Habs run with that, and I think they might even extend him next season, because that makes sense to me. You need those veteran guys on the blue line. You still need a veteran or two in that lineup when you're all full of young kids. Matheson fits the bill at 4.8 million and putting up those kind of numbers. How do you replace that? You could say maybe, Lane Hudson does, but next season, we don't know. Until that happens, I don't think Matheson is movable. Or I don't think they want to move him. Friedman must be behind that trade as well. Are you talking about the Line thing? I don't know where that comes from. I don't know. I think a lot of people had that. I know it's been released, by the way, that Winnipeg and Columbus and Line have agreed they're going to move him. Danny, you're 100% right that Matheson holds a ton of value right now. Value is high, but that value is still value for Montreal as well, especially going into a year where they'd like to make the playoffs. Hit that like button, fellas, says BL. I agree with that. Hit the like button if you're having fun, if you enjoyed it so far. And I can't believe how many people are here. So we'll keep going. I think that's what you were talking about. It's possible. I don't know where that exactly came from, though. I don't always, I've read the 32 Thoughts podcast, read it, not listened to it. I think once I listened to it. And I might have read the column a couple of times. I don't really do that. No, I don't know. Friedman kind of has turned me off lately. That's what she said last night. The 3 guys I'm gonna be watching to see where they go are because of interest. Wait, I'm gonna read that again. The 3 guys I'm gonna be watching to see where they go are because of interest. And they are Berkeley Catton, is it Trevor Connolly, and Cole Eiserman. I'm going to give away where I put Connolly in my draft. 17. Washington is picking 17. Connolly has baggage, and not good baggage. I'd love to see them pick him, and I'm giving them because I'm just pissed at Washington, so let them have him. I'm interested where Connolly goes too, because I kind of think Connolly's going to drop to later in the first round. I'm not saying out of the first round, but not as high as he's ranked. What's the baggage? From what I understand is what I've read, some nasty comments, like some not the good kind, really not the good kind of comments made on social media over the last few years, or I don't know exactly how old they are. It's a problem. I wouldn't pick him. Would I trade the 5th for Will Smith? I'm not trading the 5th. And neither is Montreal. The 5th is not being traded. And why no? I think Montreal is going to get a better player at 5th than Will Smith. How's that? Holtz may get a second look in New Jersey. Coach was fired. Got Keefe there now. This is a good point. New Jersey is in win now mode, though. Yes, that could be, though. That could be. Both of those things can be true. See, Cadden you're looking at because of his size and see if he drops. He's a talent, though. So I personally think Cadden will drop out of the top 10, but not very far out of the top 10. And not going to shock me if he doesn't fall out of the top 10. It's just the size that's the problem. And I think more so his weight, because he's only, 168 pounds, I think, at 5'10", I want to say. Oh, I have it here. Hang on, let me look at it. I've got something here where I can check on that right now. Berkeley Catton, 5'11", 163. 5'11", not bad. I mean, Suzuki's 5'11". That's not, but 163 in his draft year, it's not. That could be a worry. It could be. But as far as talent, kid's got talent. He's a good hockey player. High ceiling. No. Well, yeah, a high floor, high ceiling kind of guy too. Connolly because of the issues, and Yzerman because he can't name one goalie he has ever played with. He can't name one goalie he's ever played with? Well, that's odd. Don't you think that's odd? For me, Yzerman drops out, and I'm curious where he does go because he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's a goal scorer and an elite goal scorer. There's no doubt there, but he needs so much work elsewhere. I don't know. And he's not the biggest guy either. I don't know where they got Yzerman here. I have to look. Catton. This list had Catton at 8. But they also had Caden Lindstrom at 9. I don't know that Caden Lindstrom's going to go at 9. Who are we looking up? Yzerman. This list has him at 15. Okay, so Cole Yzerman is not small, like I thought. He's 6 feet, 197 pounds. That's not a bad-sized body. Problem is he's got a lot of work to do on all other aspects of his game. And then in saying that, I mentioned Jamie Baskow, the writer for the Flyers. He interviewed him a couple of months ago. He's pretty high on him. I know a lot of Flyers fans would like to get him. So I don't know. He kind of says he's got a more well-rounded game than is being claimed. I don't know. Everywhere else I hear he's got work to do. So he could take a little bit longer to get, to your team. And it's kind of like if you're picking him at 5, you don't want this guy to take longer than a year to be in your lineup. Really, that like you've missed either big or somewhat. If a guy at 5, 1 to 5 doesn't hit within a year, yeah, you've missed somewhere there. I would trade the 5th pick for Chris Rock. Chris rocks, man. I wouldn't do that, but if Cadden was 3 inches taller, he would be top 5. Yeah, probably. He's not bad at 5'11", but yeah, no, I agree. If he was 6'2", he's got the talent. He'd definitely be, without a doubt, in top 10 and probably right up there at 5 or 8, 4 to 6, like something like that. It's Yzerman that doesn't play defense. He's a one-trick pony. Who is Chicago taking with the 2nd pick is the $1 million question. It is. I agree with you on that. Born to be happy. And we don't often agree, but I'm going to agree with you on that. And I flip-flopped in preparing my final mock draft from one to the other. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I flip-flopped already on that, whether they're taking a defenseman, whether they're not, then they are, then they're not. Like, I don't know. It's fluid. We'll find out on Friday. Chicago's pick sets the tone for the entire top 10. Now, I don't know that that's true. I think the tone's already set that it's going to be a bit of an unpredictable top 10. I don't know that Chicago's pick sets the tone necessarily. Because I think the two guys that it's between, basically, I mean, they got second pick. I just think that, it could go either way. I don't know that sets the tone. That's the expected either two guys. But I think the tone is set later on when the picks go. I don't even know what I'm saying. It could go from Chicago. But I don't think it sets the tone. I think the tone's already set. That's what I think. Joe says, you would trade the 5th pick for Chris Rock instead of Will Smith. Aha, there's the joke. You totally did not expect that. Fucking agree with that. I fucking agree with that. I like Will Smith in general earlier, and I liked his movies, and I liked the guy, and I won't watch him anymore. BL, the list is really fluid. Only pick that's not is the number 1. But the rest, man, depending on whose rankings, depending on whose mock draft, players are all over the place in that top 15. Going beyond that, I can't really speak of or to because I'm only just doing that now for this mock draft. So I haven't seen how it's changed. But man, the top 15, 16 has changed a lot. Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, Jacki, Struble, Harris, Engstrom, all left-handed. Who makes the team next year? Who gets traded, waived, why? Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, Jacki. Pencil those guys in. Why 4? Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, although I don't think they do this in the first year, and Jacki all can play both sides. So who gets traded? Harris, possibly Struble. I don't know enough about Engstrom. He hasn't hit here or anything like that. So I don't know if they're going to trade him or not. But, I mean, Engstrom could be moved too. I don't know. Waived? None of them are getting waived. Why? Talented. You're not waiving a guy you can move. Chicago takes Demidov. Then the 2 Russian defensemen might slide out of the top 5. Oh, I think personally, I've got one of them sliding out of the top 5. I'm not going to tell you which one, but that's how I have it right at the moment. I mean, I'm starting to write the little bios and shit, so I'm pretty set on that. But it could change if I read something I like better or a thought that I hadn't thought of or, and it makes more sense. But right now, but at some point anyway, when you're doing mock draft, you have to be happy enough. You've done a decent job and you could be wrong. Of course, you're going to probably be wrong on all of them, but you could, and it doesn't matter if you get it perfect because who's going to get it perfect? So I'm kind of at that point where I think I'm set, and I'm just going to go with it. But there's 1 or 2 that I'm considering changing. Iginla is the man. Yeah, that for me too. Kovacevic wasn't mentioned. True. Kovacevic will get moved. Yes. This year or next? Or at the trade deadline, Kovacevic will get moved. I believe. It's just a matter of when, right? Because some of these guys can stay, leave guys in the AHL an extra year, and then move them in the offseason next year. I know everybody's kind of set that Hudson, who I do think will be here all year, and Reinbacher and Mayu will all be on the team starting out of camp. I don't know. I don't know that that's true. So, let them cook a little longer in the AHL. You've got the other guys. None of them have been moved yet. Gives you time for that. You didn't. But of those three guys, Danny, Savard, I think Reinbacher and Mayu are in AHL. So Savard is still here. That's 5. You got Justin Barron. That could be. He's a right side guy. Yeah, I must be forgetting somebody, but Kovacevic this year. But I really think Reinbacher and Mayu, they start the season in AHL. And it's not a knock on them in any way. I'm going to finish this, and then we're going to be done for the night. Because I got to have my supper. I'm hungry. Yeah, I wouldn't put Hudson in the AHL. Hudson, I don't think, is ever going to see the AHL unless he's on a rehab, after an injury, conditioning stint. He's going to be one of those players. He's never going to see the AHL. That's my prediction. If it's a hot take, I don't know, but that's mine. Hey, Danny, no worries. Thanks, Rick, is because you're leaving. Have a good night. If not, well, I'm leaving in about 10 minutes. But thanks for being here is what it should be. Thanks for all of you guys for being here. Because I'm not doing this with nobody here. It's a rare more than 1D go in the top 5. Yeah, but this is a really good draft for D. And listen, I've also seen a mock where it's Celebrini. I think he had Demidov next, a defenseman, 2 forwards, 4 defensemen. There's good defensemen this year. There are going to be a few of them. I'd say half of the top 10 is going to be D, and half forward. There's some really good defensemen. Sam Dickinson, he's really good. DPwM, if you like Lane Hudson, DPwM is basically maybe not as good, but he's not far off, and he's better defensively. A little bit. I think Lane will get there, but so, it's the same kind of guy. So if you're like Hudson, well, I think teams are going to be interested in DPwM and early because he is going to be a top 10. Yakimchuk, who I think would be just outside the 10. What other defenseman? Not thinking. You got Salayev and Levshunov. Who there's going to be 5, I think, go in the top 10. Oh, I thought my cat was trying to come up. He bumped my chair. What else? What else do I got to talk about? Jeez. Is there any news? There's not a lot of news right now. Let me see what my papers say. I don't have much here. This is the work I'm working on. Yeah, I don't really have anything here. There's not a lot of news in Habs. Other than rumors, there's not a lot of news. Powers and okay, so Owen Powers and Luke Hughes Both went top 5 in 2021, but yeah, it's not common. No, I agree. And I think there's possible 2 that go, but I personally think it's going to be 1. And if it's 2, oh well. It's 2. Just because that'll just leave more of a choice for Montreal, really. Will the Habs move the 26th pick and get another top 15 pick? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to get into the top 15 with that, unless you're really giving away somebody good. That's going to hurt to give away, and they could do that, but I don't think so. What I do think, and I said this earlier, I think when it gets to their pick, if the guys that they really wanted there at 26 are gone, and they're left with guys, I don't know. I could see them trading that pick then, moving down a little bit, and then getting an asset or a player and that pick they moved down to, or 2 more picks a little lower in the second round. They've only got 1 second round pick, and it's late in the second round. I could see them wanting to get, if their guy isn't there, and then the next guy they want, they confident they can get later, early in the second round, I can see them doing that to get an extra asset. It makes sense. So, but other than that, I've got a pick for them. We're doing a mock draft, all 7 rounds. I've got a pick for them there. And there's some good players there. What's his name, BL? I've been looking at all this stuff all day. Let me know who you're talking about. I'll let you know if I've seen him out there or considered him, or maybe I've got him on my list. Late second rounder. Yeah, that's what they've got. They've got a late second round pick. My opinion on Cole Hudson at 26, I think that's a possibility for Montreal. I didn't give him Hudson, but it's Lane's brother, but it's another defenseman and another smaller defenseman. I don't know that even though they're brothers, I don't know that they go that way. Thomas Lavoie, have not seen the name, so that's the first I'm seeing the name. Rick, select the new coach in Laval. Oh, geez. It's not going to be Trombley or Theriault, that's for sure. The names that are being mentioned are Guy Boucher and what's his name? Pascal Vincent, who just got let go in Columbus. That's the names I'm hearing. I haven't heard anybody else, to be very honest. It's not the tighter, Danny. Actually, it's the opposite. If they're a little looser, they'll burn better. It's I don't know. It's also the papers. They're thin. Very thin papers. I only smoke like 2 or 3 of these a day, but I go through a lighter or 2 a day. Two Hudsons and 2 Jackeyes. I just don't think they go for Cole. If Cole was bigger, I think a big possibility, but I think, he's a defenseman. How many small defensemen can we have on a team? Literally 1, max 2 in today's game. So we got Lane. I love that kid. I think he's going to be unbelievably good. I don't know that they go for his brother. And anything later than, they wait till their second round pick, he won't be there. All right, well, we're almost out of here. I'm almost done. It was a good. This was a fun show tonight. Like, I had a lot of fun. I imagine you can tell I was pretty engaged. This was a lot of fun. I guess because I've been working on draft shit all day, that I was really prepared for this today. So, where do I see Elmark ending up? Yeah, interesting question. An easy answer is a team that needs a goalie. I heard there's a couple teams interested in him, but the problem is they want him signed to an extension. Does that happen? I don't know. And apparently, Allmark doesn't want to waive his no movement. I don't know if it's a modified no trade or no movement clause offhand. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Any chance it's Ottawa? Yeah, I actually just saw that reference today. But let me ask you this: if they ask him to waive to go to Ottawa, you think he's going to want to do that? I don't think so. I would think it's got to be a team that's decent to good, or why is he going to want to waive it to go there? And apparently he doesn't want to waive it. So Carolina could be, yeah, actually I heard that today too, I think. Carolina could be an option. I mean, that's a team. Are they going to be good though after they got a lot of people to sign? I don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah, Carolina. I mean, but they've got what's his name? The ex-Leaf goalie there. I can't remember his name. And Kochetkov, who seems pretty good. So I don't know. Is there a fit? Buffalo, I've heard Buffalo. But again, is he going to waive to go to Buffalo? Kind of freaking doubt that. So, Colorado, I've heard. Colorado could use a goalie. I could see him waiving to go to Colorado. Where else? I can't think of anywhere else I've heard, but I know Colorado could be a possibility, because I think it's a question you have to ponder: is what teams would he waive to go to? That's the thing. I think I've heard Utah as well. I doubt that one. Next time it goes out, we'll be done. So if you got anything you want to ask last minute, now's the time. I appreciate the amount of people here. But I usually do an hour and a half most. So, and it is Saturday night. I want to leave you guys some time to enjoy the night. Utah would be refreshing for Allmark. Might be. I mean, he might be interested in that. Are they a good enough team, though, that he would want to go and do that? I don't know. Hey, Drew, how's it going, man? Yeah, listen, I'm converted. I'm converted. I want to see history being made here on Monday. So it's go Oilers. You might not hear it often from me saying that, but Monday, it's go Oilers without a doubt. So yeah, I hope for you guys you get another cup. I wonder if he would consider a run with the Over the Hill gang in Pittsburgh. I kind of doubt that though, unless he really likes Crosby and wants to play with Crosby. I don't know. But I mean, that's the key, right? Where will he waive to go to? And again, I think it's a no movement clause. So he'll have to waive. Hey, Drew, anytime. Thank you for the support. Me giving it back? Absolutely. And besides, I want to see history. You could say history if Florida wins their first cup is history, but it's not the same kind of history. I mean, this is something spectacular, that you can tell your kids about. Now, for me, my kids are adults; they can watch it, but it's one of those kind of things. Yeah, no, I know that, Drew. I appreciate that you're always popping in here. I do, and I appreciate all the donos and all that stuff. But definitely, I definitely am on the bandwagon for the Oilers. They won me over not last night, not the last game. They kind of won me over the game before. So I was already game 6. I was pulling for the Oilers. It's incredible theater without a doubt. Now I don't know if you're talking about the Stanley Cup Final or the draft, because both of them are incredible theater. And looking at these situations where will a guy wave to go there? What are they doing? It's all theater. Hockey theater. Oh, I said it when it goes out. That's it. All right, peoples. Thanks everybody for being here. It was an incredible amount of fun. I really enjoyed this Saturday hockey talk. We should be, as a matter of fact, it should be the regular now for the off season, because hockey's over on Monday for the season. So, look for this every Saturday. And I'll soon be. I think I got to move the Wednesday show though, because we record the podcast on Wednesdays. So I might do the Wednesday show every second Wednesday, because we're going to go every 2 weeks for the summer for the pod. So I'm still making my mind up on the Canadian dad complaints. That's why I didn't do it on Wednesday last week, if you were wondering. All right. I'm not gonna bore you anymore. Thanks everybody really for being here. So appreciate it. Stay safe out there. As I always say, peace out. Have a great rest of the Saturday if you're in Quebec and you're of the mind to want to enjoy Saint Jean Baptiste. And I'm being nice calling it that, because I have a different name for it, which I'm not going to call it here. Do that. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next on Monday, unless I get my video out tomorrow and you see me there. Ciao, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. And now, where is my cursor? There it is.